Hello, my name is Richard. I'm one of the physiotherapists here at Caboolture Emergency Department. This video is to accompany your patient information sheet in regards to caring for your plaster cast. The information in this video is for both our adult patients and for our children paediatric patients as well. If you're watching this video, it's because you have got a plaster cast from our emergency department. I'm sorry to hear that you've broken something, but this is a short patient information video about how to care for your cast, and it will go alongside the patient instructions that you will be discussed with your clinician. Okay, hi Suzanne.
Hi.
I'm sorry to hear you've broken something. We've put you in a plaster cast to keep the fracture that you've got in your radius bone nice and still. Okay. So what I need you to do as much as possible is to keep your arm elevated as much as possible. We can always give you a sling, but whilst you're at home, if you can just keep it elevated on a pillow or something like that when you are resting, that way you're not going to create any swelling or anything in your fingers there. Now, I see you've got a ring on your finger. This should have been taken off prior to the cast application, but you shouldn't really be wearing any jewellery in case you do have any swelling that collects in the finger. So if you could just remove any jewellery from your fingers and keep them on the other hand, that would be great. Okay.
Great.
Have you got any questions that you'd like to ask me at all? That's one of our most common questions. Now, hopefully we've fitted the cast nice and closely to the skin so it shouldn't cause too much of an irritation. What you must never ever do is get a ruler or a knitting needle and try and scratch down there. The unfortunate thing is, it's one of those things you're going to have to put up with to some extent, okay? Try and distract yourself, do something different, and 9 times out of 10 the itch will go away. And as I say, the reason we don't let you put anything down there is because it could damage the skin and you wouldn't know about it, and then when we take the cast off there could be a nasty cut or a wound under there which has got infected. So please, please, please don't jab anything down into the cast. Okay, anything else? Obviously with a simple plaster cast you have to keep it dry at all times as much as possible. So when you're having a shower, get yourself a nice thick plastic bag, completely cover it, place a towel around the top, and then get some thick tape and completely keep that nice and tight with a towel around the top as well, and then that way you'll keep it nice and dry. If you do get your cast wet, okay, you should come back and see us. Okay, we'll need to remove the cast and refit you in another one. Okay. Please don't try and dry it with a hairdryer, because as you dry it, the water will heat up, and there have been cases where people can get burnt or scalded. So please don't try and dry it with a hairdryer. If it's been immersed in water and it's an undisplaced fracture of the bone, you could always remove the cast prior to coming in, but do come back and see us to get it fitted again. Okay? We won't tell you off. It happens.
Okay.
It's very, very important that we make sure that the blood supply and the nerve supply to your hand and fingers is maintained. We have fitted you in a back slab, so there is still half of the forearm which is able to breathe and have blood for it. But nonetheless, it's very important that you can make sure that things are still functioning correctly in your hand. Okay? One of the most simple checks is what's called your capillary refill, and the way that you do that is you apply gentle pressure to your thumb for a 5-second period, or 5, and then release, and then count how long it takes for the thumb to return back to its nice pink colour. Okay? In most adult people it should be under 3 seconds. Okay? Other things that you want to feel for is the general colour of your fingers. They should be nice and pink. Okay? Feel the warmth of the fingers. They should be nice and warm and have a good appearance of being well perfused. Okay? Things you want to look out for is excessive swelling, or if they're quite blue, or if they're quite cold to the touch. They should be warning signs. As should be things like excessive amounts of pain. It's entirely normal to have a little bit of pain, but the cast should immobilise the fracture site, so extreme amounts of pain should be a feature that you should be concerned about. So another thing that you want to look for with the hand as well is just to ensure that your sensation is intact in the thumb, on the back and front of the fingers. Can you feel that okay there, Suzanne?
Yeah, I can.
That's all okay? So just monitor that and compare that from side to side. Again, if you lose sensation, elevate it in the first instance. If it doesn't change, come back and see us. Okay? The overarching theme here is, if you are concerned about it, we'd much rather you come back and see us so that we can assess it and rectify the situation if need be. Have you got any other questions at all? So, you can go to the beach, but we recommend that you keep it covered at all times. So same rule goes for when you're having a shower, keep it covered with a plastic bag. That way you don't get any sand or any water onto the cast at all. Sand is incredibly irritant, and it also will cause the skin to break down very, very quickly if left underneath the cast. So please, please, please keep it covered at all times if you go to the beach. Okay. Technically speaking, with a medical device on, you are not allowed to be driving, okay? Usually it will invalidate your insurance, so it is incredibly important that you do not drive until the cast is removed or you are given permission to do so via your doctor, and also it would be worth notifying your insurance company as well. In terms of activities and stuff like that, we're happy for you to do your activities of sort of daily living, but I would avoid any sporting activities, anything that is potentially going to damage the fracture site, but also damage the cast. Okay, so take it easy, and you should find that the cast looks after you. Okay, so today we've discussed about a cast over the wrist, but the same principles apply for whether you have a cast on your hand, your elbow, or your foot, or your leg. Okay. It's the same principles can be applied to those situations as well. I hope you find it informative, and if you have any problems or any questions, there is a telephone number on your patient information sheet which you can give us a call if you have any problems. Thank you very much for watching.